Good morning, guys. How are we all doing? I am Dan from Trading with Dan. Welcome to this fine Sunday morning. This is our Bitcoin morning update. So if you guys wouldn't mind smashing that like button, we shall go straight over to those Bitcoin 4-hour charts. Yeah, apologies for that. So yeah, Bitcoin on the 4-hour, we are still within our very tight range, and not only within that tight range, we are smack bang at the very center of it. So yeah, obviously the weekend where I always look for ranging sideways price action, but we are fast approaching a Sunday evening time where we will have those CME futures open. We will have a traditional market futures open. We'll have some parts of the world open, and yeah, the market can start to take a bit of direction. And then I mean I can't realistically see we go through another week trap between 60,000 and 64,000, and for what it's worth, my bias would be we break above 64,000 and then start to trade within 64, 67, 68, even maybe popping above the all-time high, and then just consolidating the top of our wider range. That would be my guess. Clearly the point of invalidation to the downside would be below 60k, at which case the obviously volatility is direction neutral, and it's not even one direction bias either. So we could get then a move down towards the 58,000 and then a break back up. That would be an expansion in volatility in both directions. But I probably would suggest, if we do get the move down below 60,000, we would potentially have the momentum to take us back below 58, 57, 58,000. But like I said, that isn't necessarily the direction that I would favor the market to take. And also, if we were to break below 60, the expansion of volatility doesn't have to be one directional, i.e. to the downside. We could bounce down here for a final time, maybe even get some wicks below, maybe even some closes potentially on a 4-hour basis, just FOMO in a few shorts, puke a few longs before slamming them back to the upside, because ultimately the trend is your friend. Everything is bullish. Fundamentals are bullish. Fundamentals in the macroeconomy are bullish. Everything is bullish for asset prices, as they have been for quite a long period now, and they are, as I have alluded to in recent videos, they are actually becoming even more bullish. We are looking at a reduction in the inflation from at least the supply chains part, as jobs come back online, and obviously non-farm Friday, non-farm payrolls did reflect an improvement in that, which is literally what we were talking about to expect, because that will be what alleviates the supply chain. Is just more people working in said supply chains. Obviously, it's not just like the physicals, it's services as well. I don't know if you guys eat out in restaurants much or whatever, but back before COVID, BC, before I said the C word, before the pandemic, I used to I always just look for deals for places. I'll just be like, where can I find that's like 2 for 1 or 30% off, or wherever I can find vouchers, search voucher codes, and just very few places ever have any of these deals anymore. And that in itself is inflation, because you can get it cheaper with deals previously, and then now you can't. So that is actually a massive increase in prices that is hidden from the stats. So yeah, just another, you have shrinkflation. You have literally outright inflation, high prices. You have shrinkflation, where you pay the same price for a smaller amount, and then yeah, you have things like deals and stuff that you don't have on deals. Like, I mean, even in supermarkets, like, you might notice that the 2 for 1 deals or the whatever deals aren't as good. But yeah, anyway, I have digressed. So yeah, let's have a look at my favorite chart, at my favorite asset, the Ethereum Satoshi pairing. As we can see, I mean, as great as this is looking, and I want to be super bullish, I want to be like, this is going to break and go onwards and upwards. We are expecting an expansion of volatility in Bitcoin, and it is most likely going to result in a downward move in this. So maybe we do get a push up into this area, but I would suggest suggest that we will get rejected at first pass at least until Bitcoin resolves itself and then starts to consolidate, which is then when we get these moves to the upside in this asset. So yeah, I mean, it's looking good, it's looking great. I want to be ultra optimistic and bullish on this for just onwards and upwards and in a straight line, but I mean, we gotta be realistic. We look at the meanderings of these charts, and we are potentially in for a meander down, which is similarly the opposite of this as well. So this could have a meander up. Similarly, maybe it pushes into this this support zone. We'll just extend this along. Maybe it pushes into this support zone before having a nice aggressive bounce from this, as Bitcoin makes a what we hope is a nice aggressive move to the upside. We don't, obviously the rest of these markets are open. I mean, stocks closing pretty well, a good week. Dollar up there, but we made our excuses. We made our optimistic excuses for the reasons for this. Bond yields selling off pretty aggressively, thanks to, well, actually the BOE and Andrew Bailey and the Bank of England just bottle jobbing it. But yeah, fair enough. The UK, I'm in the UK. I don't really look at much UK stuff. I don't really look at much UK politics or economic stuff. But we are in a precarious position in this little country, leaving obviously Europe, and obviously the difficulty that causes with just our main economy driver, which is the financial services industry in the City of London. Also, what I will say is that if the City of London is basically just the fraud capital of the world, and I don't mean fraud like I'm just not going to say what country lots of fraudsters come from, but not the fraud where you get an email from a prince from a certain nation. I mean the fraud, the literally outright blatant LIBOR rigging fraud, the bank fraud, just the real fraud, the real fraudsters, the real banksters. There's a reason why they're called banksters. Basically, London is the hub. It is the trendsetter. It is a trailblazer. There are actually literally studies, full proven studies that all the new fraudulent dodgy things like banks do, they originate in Europe, in London, and then like they percolate around the world, and then it's usually between 1.5 and 2 years they start showing up in the US banks and things. So it is fully proven. The world is corrupt. We all know the world's corrupt. The elites are corrupt, and UK is just a nice little hotspot for corporate banking fraud. So anyway, yes. So basically, what I'm saying is, it's no real surprise that the Bank of England is kind of bottle jobbing things, because it doesn't want to make things more difficult for it is. I mean, obviously we've had this referendum on Brexit, and obviously a while back, and that has made things difficult. For the City of London as a financial hub for Europe, clearly, because it's no longer in Europe. Obviously not in obviously it's still in Europe, literally on the map, but I mean, yeah, you know what I mean. But yeah, so obviously things place people. Anyway, wow, I've spoken way too long about this. Yeah, like I said, England bottle jobbed, dragging US bonds down as well, because it's kind of revealing the impotent nature of central banks. So what else do you want to look at on here? Obviously, yeah, let's look at ETH USD, because it is pushing up. It is pushing towards a new all-time high, going to potentially into price discovery. I've seen people touting around 5k as a near-term target. I guess it's as good a target as any. It is a nice round number. So yeah, maybe they're right on that. I think they've just been a bit lazy, just saying 5k. I mean, it's off 10k. It's a triple O. We're not far away from it. Yeah, cool. I don't think they put too much thought into it. Obviously, you know, my predictions for end of year, of which we only have a month and a bit left, are 8k Ethereum. But like I said, once this gets going, it's practically in price discovery, but not really accelerating. The main one to look at is this one though. So Bitcoin has that move to the upside. This consolidates and then breaks through this resistance area, and then goes into price discovery up to about here. This will pretty much, in those scenarios, Bitcoin higher and Ethereum Satoshi pairing up here, does equal about 8k EOY. So yeah, there you go. Let's have a look at stochastics for what they're worth over the weekend. Clearly going to bullish reset whilst well, the ones that are were moving down are going to bullishly reset whilst we are just sat in this tight range. 4 hour moving up, giving us a bit of upward price momentum here. 10 hour Just wait for that 10 hour to load. We always wait for this 10 hour to load. 10 hour turning up from a nice low level now as well. So this has fully and formally bullishly reset and turned back up. 12 hour gonna similarly do the same soonish, as long as we keep going. Daily again looking grand. I don't know why I say grand, but looking good. Maybe it's a quarter Irish in me. Maybe it's the reason why I'm called Danny, but yeah, maybe that's why. But yeah, maybe that's why the daily is looking grand. 2-day looking to turn back up as well, so nice bullish reset on the 2-day, looking to turn back up. Obviously this is a slightly slower moving tanker. Same with the 3-day, similarly to the 2-day. 5-day has turned over though, but then that is it. The 5-day is practically the odd one out. Weekly looking good, bi-weekly looking good, and monthly looking good. So yeah, I mean, it's all aligning, but I will keep saying, barring black swans, and there is no real reason, there's no there are lots more black swans out there. Basically, the world markets are a lot more interconnected, a lot more there's a lot more Ponzification going on in world markets at any point, which are literally just ran on basically confidence and trust, aren't they though? And I think we're in a bear market in confidence and trust. That is for certain. That is, if there's one takeaway from this video, we are in a bear market of confidence and trust. Even Bitcoin itself is just, it's fully indicative, and DeFi and all that cool stuff. And even with the interest from Finance 1.0 professionals, it clearly indicates a bear market in confidence and trust. So yeah, there we go, guys. This is not financial advice. I am not a financial advisor. Always do your own research, and I shall speak to you guys soon.